død, så holdte vi en begravelse op i hendes hus. Og det var meget hyggeligt, og som Lillian ville have, det skulle være. Og drak vi tuborøl og sige tak til ven i det så. Så det var meget hyggeligt. Og så har vi skrevet nogle ting, som vi læste der. Og det har jeg oversat til engelsk, så alle, også de italienske medlemmer af familien, kan forstå, også det danske. Og dette lille brev kommer fra Christian, min onkel. Og det skal jeg læse på engelsk. Dear Mum, I call you like this because there are no other words to describe you. Mum, or as you wanted to be called in Danish, mor. A bad evil hits you out of the blue after a long and intense life in health and optimism. With your usual spirit, you faced it with awareness, but at the same time doing everything not to be a burden on anyone and fully live every last moment you had left. You did not complain a single moment, and you kept saying that you shouldn't complain, because there were people in the world who were much worse off than you. During your illness, you came to visit us. We went to see the 5 villas, and you hugged your grandchildren, always with optimism and positivity. There are many things I would like to say, but out of instinct, only a few points come to my mind. First of all, I will remember your great love for the family. You have always put it at the forefront of all your decisions, giving up your career and accepting numerous family compromises. For the sole purpose of keeping your children close to you while safeguarding their childhood emotional life and their health and their education. As children, we made you despair, us 3 males, as you used to call us. But still, you always said you were happy to have children who motivated your existence. I would remember the determination, sometimes even outside the social schemes, with which at the time, despite being a woman, you decided to leave Denmark and study agriculture at the university in America. You got your driver's license and financed it all by working hard on numerous American farms. You kept this determination even when you helped my brother Alessandro study every afternoon following his illness. You had a comfortable and stimulating childhood, despite losing your mother at the age of 5. But you lived heavily the occupation of your country during the war, with a numerous situation that you always remembered, and that we listened to like a history book. I think we could have written a novel about your life. I certainly remember your consistency. If we are here today in this place and not in a church, it is because you have never believed in a specific religion, but you were more interested in being a good person and human being with an excellent civic sense, arguing that religions in the world have often led to international problems, conflicts and disagreements. In this too, maybe, you anticipated a thought of spirituality and coexistence worthy of a now globalized world. Not to forget your continuous planning. It was your way to avoid having to manage the unexpected. And in a certain way, you passed this way of doing on me. You underlined everything and planned everything. Even a day like this today, you have organized it down to the last detail, anticipating every problem and not leaving us in the difficulty of deciding. I also believe that we will try to follow your advice and seize this moment as an opportunity to have all the brothers together with their respective families in the future, a short vacation to stay together and, as you suggested, to toast all together with a Tuborg beer in hand in a moment of atmosphere that you defined in Danish as hyggelig. Memorable was your art of receiving, spending Christmas and singing together, holding hands around the Christmas tree, lit with candles. I remember the cookies that we used to make together all December, and the afternoons when, as a student, I would come home and hear you listen to the opera or play the clarinet. Even today, you have decided for the occasion to be remembered with the sound of Beethoven's Symphony No. 5 in the background, which you told me your mother made listen to you when you were little. Memorable was the passion for travel. I remember as if it was yesterday when you told us, just 2 weeks in advance, that you had decided and planned the world tour on a cruise for several months with your friends Maria Grazia by purchasing a last-minute travel. You said that you always had your suitcase ready under the bed, and for this reason you agreed to come on various occasions on vacation with my family. Very important for your life were your friends from the International Club of Como. Very important for your life were your friends from the International Club of Como, with whom you made very important quality and long-term friendships. I thank in the name of my mother, Marie-Louise, who I believe has always been your best friend, always close and available with the delicacy of yesteryear. You have always You have always staked everything you had on your children's education, always giving the best at international level, helping us to be citizens of the world. You have done everything to grow us up autonomous and independent, and Alessandro owes you, above all, thanks for this. Your humility, we're doing predominated and not saying, has meant that few people know that you have created a very important school in Denmark to teach the Danish language and culture to the children residing abroad. It was, and it still is, after 50 years, a very important initiative that annually welcomes 500 children, all without any profit on your part, and initially designed only to send us 3 children away from home to learn Danish. Special thanks to Yamuna, who has lovingly looked after you in these last few months, as if you were his mother. And a special greeting also from all your relatives in Denmark, who, for obvious reasons, cannot be present today. Your sister, Birgit, and your nephews are getting organized from America, Tina and Zora, are getting organized from America to say goodbye to you in Copenhagen, where your sister will also be attending. At 89 years old, when she found out of your illness, she came by plane specifically to spend 1 week with you, guest in your house. You left a mark on each of us. I will not forget the fact that you also loved the simple life in contact with nature. You were a Boy Scout during the occupation in Denmark, and you passed on this passion of yours to all your family, and in particular to Roberto, scoring in his life indelibly. Instead, I think I'm the son with whom you spend the most time. You passed on to me the passion for art and classical music. To Alessandro, instead, the love of your country, Denmark. All your 2 daughters-in-law, Stefania and Serena, adore you, and your grandchildren too. Your grandson Federico is also giving you a special greeting. The youngest, who I am sure is more than 5 years old, will surely remember you, and the time when he built the wooden train at your feet with his brother Mattia. Federico also expressed yesterday the desire to come to your tombstone and place pebbles in the shape of a heart, as he saw the other day in France. Today, she will leave us, and her ashes will return to her native country, to the family grave which, among other things, was recently listed among the national monuments close to her family and her mother's, who said she hadn't had the opportunity to know her and remember her in life, and therefore I hope to meet you and talk to her in front of the near future. My mother wished that on this day they would simply remember it, leave it to no one who wanted the opportunity to dedicate a speech to her. It was hoped that this moment could be yet another occasion for family and friends to meet around a good biscuit, a cup of tea, and with the hope that life goes on for all of us in the best of harmonies. Goodbye, Mum, and good journey. Another one in English. Det er fra Serena. Dearest Lillian, I have only had the privilege of knowing you in the last 9 years. It has been a short time, but intense, full of emotions and fun. You welcomed with empathy and without any prejudice a divorcee who entered your life already with a 2-year-old child, a baby you loved dearly right since the beginning. Always paying the utmost attention so that he did not feel a secondary family member. After only a week after we met, you seriously and unexpectedly asked me to become grandmother again, giving me a boost of confidence, which I hope I've deserved by giving birth to your nephew Federico, who spent wonderful years with you. I immediately understood that yours was a beautiful family, made of 3 brothers, raised with love, by one mother who has made immense sacrifices to keep everyone together. Christian is a really good guy. He immediately surrounded my life with a warm hug, lifting it up and briefly restoring it to new splendor. Roberto, Alessandro, Stefania, Massimo, and Sophie have always made me feel at home. A very chaotic home, full of need for affection, with a solid foundation dug by Lillian. And even though we have known each other for a few years, you told me everything about your life in hour-long talks in the evenings during our holidays. An exchange of confidence almost between friends and not between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. You knew how to indulge and understand my wounded soul and my hypertrophied pride. In return, I think I was able to appreciate your rationality in dealing with problems and the rare ability, in the face of bad things, to know how to fly like a seagull, to be able to see them smaller from above. And understanding the pain of others, I assure you, is the privilege of only the most refined minds. Thank you, Lillian, for teaching us your antidote against old age. Your recipe for always being young despite the years passing. The interest in people, culture, travel, resilience, and the ability to recognize and acknowledge the best in each individual around you. You were able to carry huge weights, both physical, I still remember your travel bags that seem full of stones, and psychological, always with a smile and with a stoicism worthy of a warrior. You leave us a great example, and in your memory, I swear that we will build a future we will be proud of. Serena. Så har jeg skrevet noget på dansk. Nogle tanker om Lillian. Lillian, min farmor og en exceptionel kvinde. Hun blev taget fra os alt for tidligt. Hendes liv var fyldt med livsglæde og sundhed, men desværre blev hun ramt af en uventet sygdom, kræft. Det var som om, at sygdom kom ud af det blå og ændrede alt. Min farmor var en milepæl i mit liv. Hun var der for mig, når ingen andre var. Uanset hvilke udfordringer jeg stod overfor, fandt hun altid en måde at støtte mig på. Hun var min klippe og min trygge havn. Hendes støtte var uundværlig og betød alt for mig. Hun var ikke bare en støtte i vanskelige tider, men også en kilde til visdom og livserfaring. Hun delte sin dyrebare livsråd med mig, som jeg altid vil bære med mig. Hun formåede at leve sit liv fuldt ud. Hun omfavnede hver dag med glæde og taknemmelighed. Hun lærte mig vigtigheden at sætte pris på de små ting og finde lykke i øjeblikket. Hendes positive indstilling smittede af på alle omkring hende, og det er noget, jeg altid vil forsøge at videreføre i mit eget liv. Selvom hun ikke er fysisk til stede længere, føler jeg stadig hendes ånd omkring mig. Hendes kærlighed og støtte har skabt dybe rødder i mit hjerte, og hun vil altid være en del af mig. Jeg savner hende hver eneste dag, men jeg er taknemmelig for den tid, vi fik sammen, og de minder, vi delte. Min farmor, en kvinde af styrke og kærlighed, har efterladt et varigt indtryk på mig, på mit liv. Selvom hun ikke længere er fysisk, vil hendes ånd leve videre i mig, og det hun har berørt. Jeg ærer hendes minde ved at leve et liv, der er fyldt med kærlighed, venlighed og taknemmelighed. Værdier, hun har lært mig at omfavne. Og så et lille brev til dig, Lillian. Kære Lillian, jeg vil savne dig dybt. Ligesom når jeg forbereder sækken med de ting, jeg ikke kan bruge mere. Ting, der ikke længere passer til mig, men som jeg aldrig vil give væk. Men de tilhører mig ikke længere. Jeg vil savne dig, som fotografierne taget ved havet, med hele familien samlet, i lykke og i fred. Du er midtpunktet i mine erindringer, min hjertesglæde. Nu er du kun et minde, en æske gemt på loftet af mit hjerte. Jeg kommer til at savne dig, som de ord vi delte, da min himmel var mindre grå, og mit smil var mere præget. Du var min tryghed, min vejledning, min støtte. Nu har jeg kun tomrummet, du har efterladt. Jeg vil savne dig så meget, at jeg vil læge efter dig i hvert hjørne af mit liv. I hvert åndedrag, jeg tager. Men jeg ved, at du ikke er længere her, hvor jeg kan finde dig. Alligevel vil jeg lede efter dig og finde trøst i minderne. Jeg vil savne dig især, når de spørger mig, hvordan jeg har det, og jeg vil svare, jeg har det godt, med et smil, der dækker over min sorg. For jeg ved, du ville ønske, at jeg fortsætter fremad. Selvom mit hjerte bærer savnet af dig så tungt. Du er min farmor, og intet kan erstatte det hul, du har efterladt. Men jeg vil bære dig i mit hjerte for evigt, og ændre den kærlighed, du gav mig, som aldrig vil svækkes. Så kære farmor, i mine minder vil du leve, som en lysende stjerne, der aldrig vil forgå. Jeg vil savne dig inderligt, men jeg vil også holde fast i kærligheden, vi delte, og de gode tider, vi havde. Tak for alt, du gav mig, kære farmor. Din kærlighed og omsorg vil aldrig blive glemt. Selvom jeg savner dig, vil jeg altid bære dig med mig og mit hjerte. Og i mit hjerte vil du for evigt være gemt. Din Basma. Hvis der er nogen, der gerne vil sige noget, så er I meget velkommen til at gøre det. Og så er der Federico, der har besluttet at tage nogle lille sten, som bliver afleveret til jer. Så hvis I vil, så kan I bare sådan lave et hjerte tæt på Lillian med sten.